Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling drained, misunderstood, or overwhelmed? Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment only to regret it later? What if you could stay calm, composed, and powerful, even when others try to provoke or pressure you? In a world where loud voices often dominate and emotional outbursts are mistaken for strength, the real power lies in silence, measured, grounded, and intentional. This is not about being passive, it's about mastering your response. And no philosophy trains us better for this than Stoicism. If you're ready to build inner strength and learn the art of calm communication, you're in the right place. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button, because here we explore how to master your mind, speak with intention, and live with purpose.
1. Why emotions hijack our voice. When someone disrespects you or pushes your buttons, your brain reacts before your wisdom does. Your heart races, your voice rises, your logic disappears. This is the emotional hijack, and Stoics knew it well. It's a biological response. The amygdala, the brain's emotional center, goes into overdrive before your reasoning faculties have time to weigh in. And in those seconds, we often say things we regret or hear things through a distorted filter. The Stoics, who studied human nature long before neuroscience, intuitively understood this battle between emotion and reason. They knew that if we didn't intervene consciously, our most primitive instincts would win. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." What he meant is this: you are not your emotions. You are the observer behind them. And in conversation, this awareness is everything. You are the one watching the anger arise, watching the fear bubble up, watching the defensiveness prepare to strike. But being the observer means you don't have to act on every emotional impulse. Instead, you create space between stimulus and response. This space is where your power lies. In that space, you decide not just how you will speak, but who you will be. When you recognize the surge of anger or fear before it controls your words, you take the first step toward real strength. You pause, you breathe, you choose a response rather than react. That's not weakness, that's mastery. Reaction is automatic, response is chosen. The Stoics practice this distinction in every part of life, and nowhere is it more vital than in conversation. When your voice becomes a tool of reason rather than a weapon of reactivity, you elevate the dialogue, you break the cycle of escalation, and more than anything, you keep your dignity intact. Every time you notice the surge of anger or fear, but choose stillness instead, you strengthen a neural muscle. You train your mind to resist the bait, to let others' chaos pass through you without becoming your own. This doesn't mean you suppress emotion, it means you manage it wisely. You allow emotion to inform your understanding, but not dominate your expression. That's the Stoic way: emotion acknowledged, ego restrained, clarity preserved. Modern psychology echoes this wisdom. Practices like mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy emphasize the same principle: awareness before action. The moment you realize that not every internal sensation must be turned outward in speech, you begin to govern yourself. That self-governance, especially in moments of tension, is the essence of inner freedom. You're not just surviving conflict, you're mastering it.
2. The strength of staying silent. Silence is not the absence of response, it's the presence of self-control. In difficult conversations, it often speaks louder than any argument. We've been conditioned to believe that being heard means speaking up, talking back, proving a point. But the Stoics flipped that script. They believe the most powerful person in the room isn't the loudest, it's the calmest. When you resist the urge to defend your ego with words, you reclaim your peace. And often, your silence becomes a mirror in which the other person must confront themselves. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." The same is true in conversations. When someone insults you or challenges your boundaries, it's your opportunity to prove, not to them, but to yourself, who you really are. That insult is not a threat, it's a test. Will you let it provoke you, or will you use it as a moment to show restraint, to affirm your values through silence rather than argument? Every verbal jab is a choice point. Respond with noise or respond with poise. Stoic silence is not retreat, it's strategy. It's the power of the calm mind in a chaotic world. When emotions flare, your silence becomes a shield. It makes the other person reveal themselves while you remain untouched. It's a tactical pause, a refusal to fuel the fire. And in that silence, something powerful happens. You shift from reactive mode to reflective mode. You see the bigger picture. You recognize that not every battle is worth your energy. Silence becomes your way of conserving that energy for what truly matters. Often, silence breaks cycles. When two people argue, they feed off each other's emotional charge. One yells, the other yells louder. But introduce a pause, real, composed silence, and the momentum shifts. The pattern is disrupted. Now, the other person must face their own echo. Without your voice to push against, their aggression starts to falter. You've said nothing, but you've changed everything. Silence is also a deep form of listening, not just to the other person, but to yourself. In that quiet space, you can hear your own thoughts more clearly. You can examine your motives, your values, your intended outcome. You move from reaction to intention, from ego to essence. You may still speak eventually, but now your words will come from insight, not impulse.
3. Reframing the conflict. Control what you can. One of the greatest teachings of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, knowing what's in your hands and what isn't. In any tough conversation, you can't control their tone, their judgment, or their triggers. But you can always control your clarity, your tone, and your energy. And that shift from trying to change them to managing you is the essence of inner power. You become less concerned with winning the argument and more focused on preserving your peace. That's not giving up, it's leveling up. Imagine you're in an argument and someone is raising their voice. What if, instead of matching their fire, you became the calm center? Not because you're weak, but because you refuse to hand them control over your state. Your poise becomes a boundary. It says, you can bring chaos, but I won't become it. That's how you reframe the conflict. You stop measuring success by how many points you scored and start measuring it by how well you preserved your values. Epictetus put it simply, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Reframing the conflict gives you back your power. You stop trying to win the argument and start winning the moment. You recognize that every heated exchange is a training ground for virtue, patience, discipline, compassion, self-respect. The conflict isn't the problem, it's the proving ground. When you focus on what you can control, your breathing, your pace of speech, your level of understanding, you transform the dynamic. You might even diffuse the other person's defensiveness simply by remaining grounded. That's the paradox of Stoic strength. It's soft, but unbreakable. Others may try to knock you off balance, but they can't reach the core of you because your core is yours to command. This mindset doesn't just help you in arguments, it changes how you move through life. You start to anticipate friction not as a threat, but as an opportunity to practice inner alignment. You realize that every difficult person is your teacher. Every tense moment is a chance to sharpen your character. And slowly, you build a foundation so firm that no storm can shake it. 4. How to speak like a Stoic. Speaking like a Stoic isn't about impressing people with ancient quotes or philosophical jargon. It's about mastering the power of measured, purposeful language. A Stoic doesn't use speech to dominate, but to clarify, resolve, and uplift. When others lash out in frustration or anger, the Stoic holds the line, not with silence born of fear, but with words born of discipline. You speak not to win, but to understand. You choose calm even when challenged because you value your peace over your pride. Every word becomes an instrument, not of control, but of inner clarity. This is the essence of Stoic speech, not verbal domination, but moral alignment. You don't have to raise your voice to raise your value. A Stoic knows that dignity is often best expressed in simplicity. When everyone else tries to impress with volume and rhetoric, you remain rooted in clarity. Conviction doesn't require theatrics, it demands restraint. You say what needs to be said, no more. You avoid gossip, insults, exaggeration, and sarcasm, not because you're passive, but because you're precise. Stoic speech avoids waste. It's rooted in virtue. Is what you're about to say true, necessary, and kind? If not, you hold it back. This is not repression, it's refinement. Tone matters as much as content. Speak slowly, not to sound wise, but to remain in control. Each pause is a decision point. Do I continue? Do I rephrase? Or do I let silence speak for me? The Stoic understands that calm is communicative. Your serenity unsettles the volatile and soothes the anxious. A calm voice disarms hostility. A measured tone commands respect. When you speak with composure, you shift the entire emotional temperature of the room. You show that strength doesn't always roar. It can whisper and still move mountains. When provoked, ask questions instead of making accusations. Questions like, "What do you mean by that?" Or, "Can you clarify your intention?" Hold people accountable without aggression. They demonstrate a presence of mind that can't be rattled by pettiness. The Stoic doesn't react, they respond. They do not aim to punish others with words, but to illuminate truth. They understand that behind every angry outburst or manipulative comment lies someone struggling with themselves. Compassion guides their tone. Courage guides their honesty. And when it's time to assert yourself, you do it without threat or blame. Stoic speech can be firm without ever crossing into cruelty. You can say, "I will not accept being spoken to this way," without raising your voice. You can say, "This decision is final," without needing to belittle anyone. This is verbal discipline. It reflects emotional mastery. Stoics do not abandon their values to protect their ego. They hold the line and speak from a place of inner authority, not emotional reaction. Sometimes the strongest statement is made by walking away. Stoics understand that disengagement isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You don't need to prove your point to everyone. Some conversations are traps, not opportunities. A graceful exit can protect your peace more than any comeback ever could. And in this way, Stoic speech becomes not only about what you say, but also about what you choose not to say. Restraint becomes a superpower. Ultimately, to speak like a Stoic is to live like one. It's not a performance, it's a reflection of your internal order. The tongue only reveals what the heart already contains. If your mind is clear, your speech will be too. So don't aim to speak like Marcus Aurelius, aim to think like him. From that foundation, your words will naturally follow the Stoic path, rational, calm, courageous, and kind. 5. Practicing calm in real life. You don't wake up one day as a Stoic master of composure. Calmness isn't inherited, it's practiced. It's trained in the heat of daily life, forged in the middle of difficult conversations, disappointments, and daily irritations. You start with small moments, when someone cuts you off in traffic, when a coworker disrespects you, or when you get unexpected bad news. These are not inconveniences, they are training grounds.
Every one of these moments is a silent invitation to build the muscle of calm. You ask yourself, do I react from ego or respond from principle? And each time you choose the latter, you gain power. Awareness is the first step. Pay attention to what triggers you, not to suppress it, but to understand it. Calm isn't just breathing exercises and soft-spoken words, it's self-knowledge. What stories do you tell yourself when you feel threatened or insulted? What emotions arise first? Anger, fear, shame? Stoics confront those stories with logic. They rewrite the narrative. This person isn't attacking me, they're reacting to their own pain. Or, this situation is out of my control, my peace is not. By interrupting the emotional script, you reprogram your response. That's how transformation begins. Practicing calm doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means feeling deeply, but not letting those feelings hijack your behavior. The Stoic feels anger, but doesn't become angry. They feel sadness, but are not consumed by it. They experience anxiety, but are not ruled by it. That's the difference. And the only way to develop this strength is through repetition. You'll fail sometimes, lash out, retreat, freeze, and that's okay. What matters is not perfection, but pattern. Review your day with honesty. Where did I act from emotion? Where did I choose principle? This reflection is where wisdom takes root. When you slip, show yourself grace. Stoicism is not a quest for robotic perfection. It's a path toward mindful humanity. Every time you forgive yourself and recommit, you move forward. Each moment of calm builds a reservoir of internal strength. Each mistake offers insight. And with time, these practices harden into habits. You'll notice that arguments don't pull you in as easily. You'll breathe before you speak. You'll start responding in ways your former self would admire. That's the real reward, not applause from others, but inner respect. Eventually, something powerful happens. The chaos around you no longer defines the atmosphere within you. People may yell, provoke, or gossip, but it doesn't enter your core. Their energy doesn't penetrate your peace. Instead of being pulled into their storms, you become the stillness they notice. You become the calm eye of the hurricane. Your presence becomes stabilizing, not reactive. And people feel that. They respect it, even if they don't understand it. Your emotional gravity changes rooms not because you're louder, but because you're unshakable. Stoic calm is not about being passive or soft. It's about being rooted. You become unmovable in your values and grounded in your self-awareness. This type of calm can set boundaries. It can deliver truth. It can walk away when needed. It's active, not idle. And it always begins with choosing how you interpret reality. That's where your freedom lies. Not in controlling what happens to you, but in mastering how you respond. In the end, Stoicism teaches us that calm isn't what happens when everything is easy. It's what you cultivate in the middle of hardship. It's not just emotional, it's spiritual. Calm is character in action. And the more you practice it, the more it becomes who you are. Not a mask, not a performance, but your essence.
Difficult conversations aren't going away, but your emotional reactivity can. With Stoicism, you can master the silent power, respond with grace, walk with strength, and never let someone else's chaos control your clarity. If this resonated with you, don't just listen, live it. Start practicing calm today. And if you want more tools to master your mind and protect your peace, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needs this message. Remember, you don't have to win every argument. You just have to win your inner peace.